eating grass, they were eating mud, they were just, you know, millions of people were starving. And what the government was saying was, even if 1 million people die, the nation is going to go forward. You know, we are going to focus on the progress of our country. And all of the help that they were bringing in, a lot of the food aid and the money, they were giving it to the army. They have a 1 million-man army in North Korea. And so they were focusing on the army, keeping them well fed, keeping them strong, while I think the total of people that have died of starvation now is like 2 million people have died. But the point is that those are 2 million lives that really didn't matter. Because the life of an individual doesn't matter in comparison with what is the good of the nation. Okay? So there's a radical example of what happens when you don't value individuals, when you don't value people, that if it's only about the good of the nation, which is what communism is all about, then individuals just get squashed. Okay? So in this idea here that we're talking about issues of right and wrong, responsibilities originating with individuals, there's a very healthy aspect to that. And it keeps in check that idea of communism. But the problem with it is, okay, and this is, again, talking about the negative side, is that everything becomes relative. If it's right for me, then it's right. If it's about my freedom, leave me alone. And in a sense, people don't worry about other people's concern, okay? So, for example, you know, there was this issue at YWAM High School, which is a high school out this way, that, you know, at the high school dances, the kids have been showing up at these dances and they've been, I don't really know what it is, but it's called like grinding, you know, that is some kind of dancing that really kind of emulates sex or something, right? So a parent from a Christian group called Youth Alive, and it's run by a friend of mine, apparently called the school and expressed concern about, you know, what's going on at these dances, you know, and that, you know, we shouldn't have this happening at a public school dance. Well, some kids at YWAM High School heard that, you know, a Youth Alive parent had complained. So they started a Facebook page called Why Youth Alive is Destroying YWAM. Okay? You know, why this Christian group is wrecking our school, you know? And all these kids started signing up for it, you know? And so this kid, the kid that sponsors the group, you know, basically what he says is, this is America. You know, we can do whatever we, you know, effing please, and we can dance however we effing want. I can't believe they let this on Facebook. But anyway, you know, who are you to tell us what we can and can't do? You know, this is America. This is freedom. So where people just kind of all about my freedom to do whatever I want, wherever I want, with whomever I want to do it. I can dance how I want to dance, I can talk how I want to talk, I can do whatever I want, you can't tell me what I can't do. Elevating the individual, there is a point where that then becomes damaging to the community, to the whole, you know? And what's going to happen, particularly at YWAM High School, is that's offensive. That kind of dancing hurts kids that don't want to see it, you know? And so this individual, give me my freedom, let me do what I want to do, don't tell me what I can and can't do, in a sense, kind of starts to have negative consequences in the community as a whole, okay? So, like I say, we don't want to go to the extreme of North Korea that says, I don't care about individuals, all I care about is the community, all I care about is the nation. But then, we can't go to the extreme where we now find ourselves in America, where because of our freedom of speech, or our freedom to do whatever we want, that we're really hurting our society. We're really hurting other people. I mean, this thing, you guys, you guys know about this, but, you know, the internet is totally uncontrolled, you know, and as a parent, you know, I've had to work through this with my kids, yeah.
And it's tricky to confront that.
Yes.
It's tricky to be like, all right, you know, I have to do what's best for me by confronting this person who was doing best for them, but the negative, the bad fruit is like so apparent.
Right.
You know?
Right. So let me ask you guys, this question. If you know, let's say you're working with some kids that go to a particular high school, and you know this is going on at at Minneapolis North, or, you know, what are some other high schools in the area out there?
South, Washburn,
So,
Henry, Edison.
how would you address that issue?
Ooh, Jesus.
You're talking to your kids.
Yeah,
I would talk about like self-respect
yeah,
and like caring about yourself and like how, you know, you don't have, I don't know, you don't have to participate in that, and like
yeah,
maybe practice like how you would say no to like grinding or what alternatives you can do.
right, right. So,
What?
Do the soul train.
let me ask you this question. Where else have you seen examples of this kind of behavior, where people are so focused on my right to do this, my right to be who I am, that they don't care about how it affects other people?
Suing.
Huh?
Suing.
Oh, in the legal system, okay,
People just,
yeah,
because it's like, I fell down on your sidewalk, so
Yeah.
therefore,
yeah,
you're paying me.
okay.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Where else do we see in our society examples of people just kind of so focused on their own personal freedoms and their own personal rights that they don't realize that the exercise of those freedoms and rights is hurting others?
Well, just a story from this past week. A team of us have been going to the Corcoran Trailer Park and doing after school like homework help with the kids. And so we had them here to do packing food for Haiti, Kids Against Hunger. And when I picked them up from school, they're all like, put it on KDWB, put it on KDWB. And I was like, no, I don't really like KDWB. And then when I was driving them back home, they're all like telling me again, put on KDWB. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. But if I don't like what they're singing, I'm going to change it. And so I turned it on within 30 seconds. You know, some girls singing about doing it and grabbing your junk. And I was just like, this is so disgusting. And I turned it off and I told the kids, do you guys understand what you're putting in your minds? Like, the words affect how you think about yourself and how you think about other people.
Yeah.
And these songs are just getting you to think about sex and disrespecting people of the opposite gender. And this is like what Ron was saying, these kids are 5 to 14-year-olds. So this is, you know, exactly what I was thinking about, pivotal moment in their life, because probably no one's ever said that to them. And some of the kids were like, so I changed it to a KTIS, Christian radio station, and some of them were like, turn it off, we don't like this. And they kept saying to me, we're old enough. And I said, you guys, this isn't about being old enough. Whether you're young or you're old, the words are still trashy. And you're just ruining your life, but it was all about their rights.
Yeah. See, and I think that's a huge issue in our culture, that we think that our kids, kids are forced to make so many choices when they're little kids that they don't have the maturity to make.
Right.
And we force adulthood on these children, you know, and it's sad, but it's all about, again, because we perpetuated this value of, oh, freedom. I mean, you guys, 12-year-old kids shouldn't have to be making decisions about their sexualities, you know, I mean, that's just not the time in life that you're ready to start making those decisions, you know.
I think based on that same thing is we take this right into the schools. Well, we've got to tell them about sex and
Exactly.
give them the opportunity to have
Right.
a condom if they want a condom.
Right. But it's at that youngest age, isn't it? I mean, it's happening with junior high kids, isn't it?
A 17-year-old has just made a new website, and it was rather innocent, it sounds like, to start out with. He just wanted to be able to talk to different people all over the world.
Okay.
It was on the news this morning.
It was on
And so it's just where you can kind of flip through, and then it's with a webcam, and so you can actually see them.
Okay.
Yep, check roulette.
Yeah, roulette.
Check
And so you
roulette.
can actually see the people. So it started out kind of innocently, like, I just want to meet these other people.
Check
Hi,
roulette.
how are you
Yeah.
from China or wherever you're from?
Yeah.
But what's happened is these young people are sitting in front of this computer. They whip through the people that they can see, and up comes somebody exposing their private parts. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh. And I'm sure the kids